So what we're going to talk about today is traffic. This is one of my favorite topics, is traffic and lead generation. So I got a really good training for you guys. And the reason why I like this so much is because when we were doing the bulk of our online coaching with Dynamic Duo Training, when we first started off, guys, we did not know anything about traffic sources, anything about lead generation. All we knew was like we were coaches, we're trying to get people results, and hopefully, for some reason, when we get them results, they're going to come to us magically. Doesn't work like that, guys. It does not work like that. I wish it did, but it just really doesn't, okay? So you have to understand these three different traffic sources that I'm gonna teach you in a minute, and you have to understand how you can sit there and keep that traffic, which I'm gonna teach you in a minute as well too. Where we learned this from was, I think it was 2017. So we went to a conference in San Diego called Thrive, Make Money Matter. And one of the speakers was Mark Lack. And Mark Lack, if you guys don't know who he is, he's probably like one of the best when it comes to personal branding and marketing, right? So we saw him speak on stage, we talked to him after, we started following him on social media, and then we found out that he did coaching days, right? So we were like, man, like we have to get a coaching day with this guy. Like I honestly don't care what the price is. We got to get, a coaching day with this guy and learn all these things and accelerate that learning curve, because we could read all these marketing books and all that stuff, and that's great, but that's going to take too much time, right? So we reached out to Mark and we did a whole entire coaching day with him in Long Beach, and he taught us all of these different kind of like traffic sources, lead generation tactics, things that we could probably not have figured out even in books, to be 100% honest. So that's why I'm excited to sit here and teach this with you, because as soon as we implemented some of those things into Dynamic Duo Training, man, I'm telling you guys, like we started getting a flood of leads. We didn't have to reach out so hard and ask these clients to come like over to us. Like literally, it felt so good, like not having to sit there and like DM them all the time and reach out to them and feel like we were kind of begging for them to come over, right? It felt really, really good, because I know how that can feel. It's like you're reaching out to them. It's like, man, I'm annoying. Like it's frustrating. You get overwhelmed a little bit. You want to throw the towel in. But once we learn these traffic sources, we started really putting these into practice. People started coming to us and kind of hitting us up, and we're just like, man, this felt good. It was just like a sign of relief, right? Not overwhelmed, not stressed out, not frustrated. We want to keep putting content out there and get more people into us and see what we're doing to serve them more. So right now, I'm going to go over to the whiteboard right now. Come with me right now, and I'm going to teach you guys these three traffic sources. All right, so let me teach you guys these three traffic sources that you guys can eventually own this traffic. And you guys have to understand this first before I get into this, is when you guys are doing your guys' social media posts on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, that's rented land. You guys don't own that traffic, okay? I'm gonna teach you guys how to get this traffic and own it, okay? So the very first traffic source, and just look at these right here, like they're like freeways, right? We have traffic and all that stuff. So the very first one is create, okay? So this is the traffic that you guys are creating on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest, all those type of things, right? You're creating this stuff organically, okay? So that is definitely a really good way that you guys can push traffic, is creating the traffic yourself, putting out content, content-based marketing, giving value, all those type of things. That's a really good way to sit there and get traffic, okay? Now the second one is obviously paid traffic, okay? So on this one, what you're doing is you're doing a form of like, creating like a traffic, but you're paying for it though. So you're amplifying it. So you're putting money behind Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all like advertising, right? So it can get out there in front of more people and they can see who you are. So what that does is, let's say you're creating traffic, right? And this will take you like maybe like 30 days to get somebody to get their attention. What the paid traffic does is it goes whoop, like that, shrinks it in half, like 10 to 15 days, even faster, right? Because you're paying to get in front of people's eyeballs, right? So that's paid traffic. Now the third traffic is borrow. So borrow traffic is basically when you do like a joint venture, you do a collaboration with somebody that's in your industry, right? So you can sit there and have them on your podcast. You can go on their podcast. You can do a guest blog for somebody. You could do something as far as like being featured like in their email list, whatever it is, right? It's something that you're doing a cross collaboration with. And what you're doing is you're borrowing their traffic. So I'll use a podcast, for example. Maybe you had somebody like a big like fitness pioneer on your podcast, or you did like a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live or something like that, right? You sit there after and you share that out to your audience, right? And you ask them to share it too. And what happens is like that audience, you're borrowing that traffic because they don't know who you are at first, but when they interview and they see you as like, wow, this person's interviewing this authority right here, they're gonna be like, oh, I wanna know who this person is. So you're borrowing the traffic, okay? So here is where people go wrong though. is you want to sit there and be able to own this traffic, okay? Now, the way you own that traffic is email list, which we'll do another video on, and SMS, which is text, which we'll do another video on as well too. I don't want to drag these on. But you're porting the created traffic, the paid traffic, the borrowed traffic, all into owning the traffic into email, into SMS, because we don't know what the hell is going to happen with Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg can be like, you know what? Like this, screw all you guys. Like I'm killing the algorithms, all these different things. And then what? You don't have an email list. You don't have an SMS list. You don't own any traffic. So what we did too was like a couple of our Dynamic Fit Pro students. So Kim, she's over in Wales, I think, right? Or sorry, she's in Netherlands. So what she did was she did a form of creating traffic, right? So she did a direct call out, and then she did a separation post on Facebook. And when she did that, she generated 25 leads into her coaching program, okay? And then we have Mike, he's over in the UK, and then we have Krista, she's over in Arizona. They did 7 to 14 day challenges, right? So that was another one of like one of them did actual paid advertisements towards it too. And they actually did borrow traffic because they asked somebody else to like share it and stuff like that. So they did all those forms of traffic with their 14-day challenge. I think Krista got 52 leads, and I think Mike got 60 leads in there, right? So just imagine the numbers when they close them for their coaching programs, right? So there's proof in the pudding when you create, when you do paid traffic and you do borrowed traffic with all this stuff, okay? So if you need help with any of these traffic sources, more lead generation tactics into your guys' fitness business model, then click the link below, because we're doing 10-minute, just brainstorming calls just to see where you're at, see how we can help you out, see where the gap is, the frustration, all that. There's no obligations. Leave your credit cards at home. So just sit there and sign up for your guys' free 10-minute brainstorming session. If you're watching